Welcome to the Podkey summary of offer subscriptions to groups and organizations from WWDC 2026. Apple's adding a more grown-up way to sell subscriptions to teams, classrooms, and companies, and it changes both the buying flow and the pricing math. The big pieces are group purchases inside an app, large-scale buying through Apple Business Manager and Apple School Manager, and new bulk discount pricing that gives developers a lot more control. Underneath all of it, StoreKit 2 and new server APIs are doing the heavy lifting, so seats, invites, and group management don't turn into a spreadsheet nightmare. Developers can now build their own in-app purchase screen for group subscriptions using StoreKit 2 underneath it. That means instead of nudging every person toward a separate subscription, the app can make a clear case for buying a bundle of seats for a team and sharing access from there. It's a small UI change on the surface, but strategically it matters because it turns collaboration into something the purchase flow actually supports, instead of something users have to improvise afterward. For these in-app group purchases, Apple creates a unique invitation link for the buyer. The buyer sends that link to teammates, and when someone accepts it, a seat transaction is created for that person. So the handoff is built in, which is nice, because nobody wants seat assignment to feel like planning a wedding. For bigger organizations, Apple Business Manager and Apple School Manager handle the same basic goal in a more centralized way. Schools and enterprises can buy subscriptions at scale and assign seats through the device management systems they already use for app rollout. That skips the custom invite link approach and fits better for places that care about identity control, admin workflows, and keeping everything under one roof. Apple is also adding a volume pricing setup where developers can define up to 5 price bands, each with its own quantity range and per-seat price. The example is pretty straightforward. $19.99 per seat, up to 20 seats, $13.99 for 21 to 40, and $10.99 to 41 and up. At 50 seats, that works out to roughly a 20% reduction in average cost, which gives teams a real reason to buy together instead of piecing it together one account at a time. For developers that can shift the model from maximizing each individual seat to making the larger purchase more attractive, while still keeping per-seat revenue competitive. If a subscription already supports family sharing, it can still also be sold to groups or organizations, but the group option is opt-out by default, so developers decide whether that path is shown. That separation helps avoid messy overlap between consumer family benefits and organizational seat assignments. And in App Store Connect, developers can be pretty selective. A subscription can be available only through Apple School Manager, only for groups, or have organization sales turned off entirely, while still staying on sale for individual users in the App Store. There is one firm requirement here. Auto-renewable subscriptions have to use StoreKit 2 to qualify for group or organization sales. Older StoreKit versions don't get access to these new paths, which makes sense because modern seat tracking, invite handling, and server-side group management depend on those newer APIs. Apple also added group management endpoints to the App Store Server API, so apps with custom collaboration flows can query a customer's groups and members. Those endpoints work for both group-purchased and volume-purchased subscriptions, which gives developers room to build their own logic on top instead of forcing one rigid model. Taken together, this is Apple making subscriptions a lot more team-shaped than they used to be. If you build for classrooms, work groups, or companies, the interesting part isn't just new pricing. It's that buying, assigning, and managing seats are finally being treated like part of the product. This episode was generated by Podkey. Create your own at podkey.fm.